Hey, everybody. We're back with another episode of Grant Draws. As always, we are sponsored by the Independent Creator Directory. If you want to get in on that, it's very, very easy. All you have to do is talk to Joe Bachman, and he's on all the social meteors. Tonight, my guest is Dave Schuler. And Dave is a friend of mine from college, and he moved back to Ohio after college, but he went to school here in Pittsburgh. We won't mention the college since people have strong feelings about it. But yeah, Dave's a good guy. He was in the first volume of Memoirs of the Morbid, and he's in the new volume of Memoirs of the Morbid, which gives me. I don't know who that is talking outside my house. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but
I can't.
I think it was a delivery driver like talking on the phone. So I'm going to go through the comments, or at least the first couple. Dan is saying hi, and he's also saying, how is the Kickstarter going? And the reason why I wanted to read those comments so quickly was because that gives me a great segue. Because Memoirs of the Morbid, the orange volume, is doing great. We're about 2/3 of the way. I don't know. I'm not very. You're better at math than I am. Is that about right? We're about 2/3 of the way.
Yeah. I mean, especially if I'm going to use that little bar there. But
There's a little bar.
yeah, so that little green bar at the top.
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Okay.
No, I'm very pleased with how it's doing.
So I need to get rid of this thing because I don't want you guys to see how the sausage is made. Well, actually, I don't really care. Yeah, so this is this little bar here. Yeah, so I'm saying that's about 2/3 of the way, right?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So Dave did one of the stories for Memoirs of the Morbid, and I will scroll down. So this is the story that he did, Invaders. It is sci-fi / horror, which is an underutilized genre mashup, in my opinion. And he also did this cover, which depicts his story. So did you want to explain to the listeners what your story is about?
Well, the basic idea, it is a very, very simple story. It is
I don't know why we're not up there. Hold on.
there we go. Okay. So it's very simple. I would just call it like the end of like of a sci-fi horror movie. The main character is about to face off against the alien or the monster or whatever, and try to escape their situation, for better or for worse. And that's it. That's it. I try to keep it as simple as possible. There's very little dialogue. It is just told visually for the most part.
Yeah, so it's only 8 pages, so
7.
Yeah, 7. Okay, so you had to keep it very simple, and I think it turned out pretty good. Or well, at least the story itself is pretty good. It kind of reminds me. Did you ever hear what the original ending for the movie Alien was?
I think so. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know that they had some ideas that the studio didn't let them do, like the alien was going to keep getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
So the original ending, at least in the screenplay, I don't think it was ever filmed, but the original ending was that the alien murders Ripley and then walks up to the intercom system and phones Earth, and in a voice that sounds exactly like Sigourney Weaver says like, "Okay, I'll be there shortly," or whatever. Which
That would have been a cool ending.
yeah, but I'm going to continue with the comments, and then we'll go on. You're actually going to have two comic books on Kickstarter almost concurrently.
Yeah, it's one right after the other. As soon as this one wraps up, I have one where I am the only artist. It's a comic that I've been working on for 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. And it is, I think we talked about the last time I was on the show. I was I don't know, about halfway through it at the time. And it is about a demon who has kind of lost the luster for his job.
Do you want to take a look at it, and then I'll go through the comments afterwards?
Yeah.
So something crazy. I got an email today from somebody, and I just put two and two together, and I realized I got an email from your marketing guy today asking if Nick Edwards could be on the show, and I didn't even put together that he was the writer of this book.
Yeah. I actually met him at Allentown, the Allentown Night Market in Pittsburgh.
So is he a Pittsburgh guy, or was he just in town for that?
No, he was just in town. He's from Texas, and I guess like during that year, he was kind of traveling around the country because he was looking to get out of Texas and was looking to find somewhere else to live. And he ended up moving to NYC. So he's living in New York City, and then I know that he's got a couple of guys that he likes to work with that are still down, I think, in Denton, Texas.
Cool.
And yeah, he saw the first memoirs at my booth, and that's why I'd be interested in doing a whole comic. And I said, yes, very yes. And so he sent me the script, and
he saw the first memoirs and saw that it was awesome, and he hired you based on that.
Yeah.
So I take full credit for you getting this job.
As you should, yes. I
Did you want to explain? Oh, sorry.
Definitely had nothing to do with it.
Do you want to explain what the apostasy is?
So the apostasy is about that red guy there. His name is Gainsbourg, and he is a demon torturer. And he has sort of lost the luster he's been doing for a very long time. He sort of lost the luster for his job. And as he's just sort of going through the motions, he comes across this little girl. And he is a torturer in the 9th circle of hell, which is where the worst of the worst of the worst goes. And here's this little girl who doesn't know where she is and why she's there. And he doesn't know what to do with this. So the story is about him trying to get her out of hell because he thinks that they've made a mistake, and trying to get her to heaven. And all the obstacles.
There's no actual child torture.
No, there's no actual child torture.
Well, you've lost my sale.
I'm so sorry about that. I know how much you love to watch the suffering of children in comic book form.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. What were you saying?
Oh, I know your favorite scene is that scene when Anakin shows up in episode 3 with the younglings.
I mean, I actually did kind of like that scene just because I was a little bit surprised that like George Lucas did that, like in his family film. So I put the link to the apostasy. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yes, the apostasy. The word apostasy means someone who betrays their faith or most cherished beliefs.
So I'm going to give my little spiel that I always give, which is there's even I
Oh yeah,
forget to put art on the in the pre-launch page now. Oh, so is the finished product? It's going to be black, white, and then yellow.
black, white, and then just like kind of basic colors. So like I don't have the time to color a whole comic book, and I've never actually done it, so I wouldn't trust myself to do it well. So there's kind of in the same way like Sin City is. So there's very basic colors,
Right.
like eye color, blood effects, that sort of thing.
So, like I said, I'm going to do my spiel. I'm going to click notify me on launch. Um, you'll be the first to receive project updates. Cool. Um, so, what I always say about this is uh, it doesn't hurt you in any way to just click notify me on launch. And I put the link there in the comments, and it helps Dave and Nick out. Like I said, Nick will be on the show later, but if you want to help him out now, it does help him with the algorithm if you click notify me on launch. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, please check it out. I had a great time drawing it. I think it's a really fun story. It's got a really cool twist at the end, and I'm hoping it does well so I can make more of it, so we can continue the story.
I was gonna guess what the ending is, but if I guess it correctly, then I'll feel bad.
Why don't we just wait?
Sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna go through the comments a little bit more, and then we will start with the interview. Okay. Carla's saying good evening. Donna's saying don't forget to like and share, folks, because she's way better at this than I am. Thank you, Donna. You are correct. It always helps me if you guys like and share. She's saying hi to Dan and Witzman Dude. Hi, Grant, and welcome, Dave. Don is saying dropping in to say hi and drop my like. Thank you so much, Don. You know how much we appreciate it. I put the link for Memoirs of the Morbid in there. Don is saying hi to Don. Cara's saying hi to Grant and Dave. Donna's saying yay, Grant. I think that she's saying yay to when I showed Memoirs of the Morbid and said that it was 2/3 of the way there. Carl's saying nice. Grant is saying, oh, I'm giving you the link to the apostasy. As I said, following it basically doesn't cost you anything. And then we've got this guy who's never made a comic book in his whole life. His name is Marvin Wynn, and he is the creator of another Comicsburg book known as The Edge. And he also has a Kickstarter up called for an action figure for one of his characters. Let me bring it up. And I will put that link in the chat as well. You guys haven't checked that out yet. Marvin says, this guy. And Donna says, hey, Marvin. And I said, check out this link. It will take you to the Edge action figure. With 22 days to go, he's a little under 2/3 of the way, but he's got a pretty big goal. So I think he's going to end up making his goal, which is pretty cool. Okay, so Dave, so on to what we were discussing earlier. So you met Nick at the Allentown, what was it, the night market?
Yeah, yeah. And I'll actually be there next week.
Oh, okay. Next week. I'm trying to think if I'm doing anything next week. I mean,
You're going to the night market. I think that's what you're doing.
I think we can do that. So is it going to just be you, or is it going to be your family as well?
It's just gonna be me.
Okay. I know Angie really wants to meet your kids. She's met one of your kids. She hasn't met the two new ones.
I think November, right? You guys are gonna be at Akron Comic Con, right?
Exactly. So yeah, so we will get to meet. What are the twins'
Uh,
names?
Miles and Juliet.
Miles and Juliet. And you're gonna dress them up like the twin lawyers from Pittsburgh for Halloween, right?
I don't know who that is.
I could have sworn I told you this, but maybe I forgot. So there's a law firm in Pittsburgh called Shadowrovich, and Fishman,
Oh, you did tell me this. Yes. Okay, I remember.
and it's two twins and then some other random guy.
Two twins and their friend.
Well, the thing that is so funny about it is that the two twins either grow and or shave their facial hair in unison. So like for a while they didn't have beards, but then they grew the two beards at the same time. And we think that it's because they know that their gimmick is that they're twins. And if they don't look exactly alike, they think that they're going to lose all of their business.
I mean, you got to play the game. You gotta do the shtick.
So anyways, so Dave has three kids, including two twins. So my suggestion was that you dress them up as Shadowrovich, and Fishman for Halloween.
I think
But I
it's
don't
going
think
to go
Dave
over
likes
really, really well with the Ohio crowd.
right. You have that weird lawyer who has all the billboards up who kind of looks like Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah, Tim Misney. That's a weird dude. He's a funny dude. He's got a good sense of humor, but he's a weird dude.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what you want from your lawyer, though, right?
You know what? He's like there's very complicated feelings because this is the guy that like donates a lot of money and he has a good sense of humor, but he's also like, you know, kind of an ambulance chaser. So like that sort of caliber of lawyer. So
Yeah,
but I guess like he does a lot of charity and he does like he has people like on his gigantic like at his in his gigantic house and his grounds and everything and gives tours and has a whole bunch of like events and stuff for folks. And he has a really good sense of humor about what he does. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little morally ambiguous.
yeah. I mean, like you said, okay, he has a good sense of humor about himself. I don't know that that's what I want from a lawyer. I think I want more of like a kind of buttoned up, like just like not super. I guess kind of generic guy. I guess what I would say.
So no Jimmy McGill's for you.
Right. So, anyways, back to what we were talking about before. So, do you like doing kind of like for hire work, like uh, doing a comic book that you didn't write but you're just drawing? Do you like doing that as well as you enjoy doing comic books where you wrote and drew?
Yeah. Like I wasn't sure about like doing a comic that I didn't write myself, but like working with him and sort of like bringing his vision to life and then also him allowing me to kind of interpret or reinterpret what he described and pitch it to him, whether you know he liked it or not, was really cool. It was a really great experience. So I would be I think like if someone were to come along and say I have a script and I want you to draw it, then yeah, if I like the script, I would totally be down to do that again.
So when Alan Moore shows up and he asks you to write his next script or draw his next script, you'll do that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He has to teach me how to like grow the gnarly beard.
You've tried?
Yeah, just I can't squeeze my face enough to make it like come all the way out like gray and bushy. Wonder if there's like a just for men for that.
Well, eventually, your beard will be gray, right?
I don't know. It's not like I have 3 kids or anything.
Yeah. So how is that? How is trying to balance? You have a full-time job and you have 3 kids, two of whom are would you consider them newborn still?
No, they're infants.
They're
They're like
infants.
seven. They're
Okay,
like 7 months old. In 5 months, are going to be a year old. Isn't that crazy?
that is crazy. It seems like it was just yesterday, right?
Yeah. What is time?
So you have 3 kids, you have a full-time job, and you do a lot of comic book work. So how do you find time? How do you balance all of that?
Poorly. Pretty much
So are
like
you gonna?
after the kids go to bed, like I sit in the living room and I work on comics, and I sit at the dining room table and I work on comics until 2 in the morning, and then either somebody wants to eat and then I feed them and go to bed, or somebody doesn't want to eat and I go to bed and then wake up in like an hour or two to feed someone and then go back to sleep.
So you don't just make your wife do everything.
No,
That's good.
I
Um,
I don't understand that.
well,
Like
that's
the
good.
like the guys that do that. Oh, my wife took care of it. Yeah, I obviously they don't. Honestly, women don't need to sleep.
Right. But yeah. So do you think you're going to take a break after you finish your story for Memoirs of the Morbid, or are you going to go right back to work on doing more comic books?
I think I'm going to take a break on comics just because I don't have anything at the moment. But I'm not going to take a break. Period. Like I have some commission work to do, like just like one-off paintings and illustrations, and then I want to I want to cook up some more t-shirt designs for like my shop, and then kind of evaluate some like what kind of evaluate like what prints and work that I take to shows, what isn't selling, and then retire some and make some new ones.
Ah, okay. Now, do you enjoy doing that kind of work as much as you do the comic books, or do you like doing comic books better?
I think it has six one way, half a dozen the other. I like them both,
Okay.
but like looking at the whole like there is a certain feeling about like looking at an entire book and going,
That is a
wow.
good feeling, right?
Yeah, you're just going, wow, that was a lot.
Well, you said this current one, the apostasy. You said it took what, 2 years?
Yeah, they're about.
Now, is this the whole story, or is this just issue number one?
This could be the whole story for now,
Okay.
but I know that we've talked about if it does well, there is definitely room to continue. Like it is built to have more. Like there's is built to have more to come after.
So you would say that this is a self-contained issue, but um, there might be stories in the future.
I would hope so. Like I like the way that it ends. like you could just say like, okay, that's the ending, and you leave that up to your imagination. But I've thought about what comes after, and I'm really excited to talk it over with him. Hopefully the
So like,
Kickstarter, hopefully everything goes well, and like it makes sense to move forward with it.
so if it becomes a giant hit, there will definitely be a volume 2.
I would hope so. Yeah, I know that he's working on a follow up to one of his other comics.
Oh, okay.
So it probably wouldn't show up for a couple. Like we probably wouldn't start working on it for a couple of years, which is fine because then that gives me some time to work on these other projects. Maybe work on one of my stories that I've had sitting on my hard drive for 10 years.
Oh, exciting.
Or
Do you have like a script?
I have a lot of scripts.
You sound like me.
Yeah, I have like one of the stories I have mapped out for 250 issues, and I've got like 7 or 8 scripts written.
So what are you waiting for?
Well, I wrote these at a time where I would draw like 4 pages, right? And I don't know that for whatever reason when I was younger the drive wasn't there, or the focus wasn't there. So like I would draw like the 4 pages, and it would just be like these very tightly penciled pages, and I would just look at it with an ink pen and go, oh, I don't know, and I would hem and haw, and I'd move on to something else, and then I wouldn't touch it for like 6 months or a year, and then by the time I went back to it, my style had changed, or like my approach had changed, and so the way I drew was different enough where I couldn't match what I was doing before, and then I would start again, and then the same thing would happen, and this happened 3 or 4 different times, so 3 or 4 different stories, and it just never went anywhere. And it wasn't until like I want to say it was like right before Lydia was born, so like 2019, I think. Top Cow was doing their, like, you know how they do their what I think they call it the talent hunt or whatever.
Right.
So they put out their script. So I grabbed a script and I just want to see like, okay, this is 6 or 7 pages. Let me just see if I can do it. And I did. Like I was able to do it. And then that was right after that was when you were started talking about Memoirs of the Morbid. And
right.
I'd proven to myself that I could do it. So I asked you if you would be cool with letting me take a stab at it. And you were gracious enough to let me.
Yeah. So, no, I can totally relate to what you're saying about like. I mean, I think I had like a lot of, like I said, I have a lot of half finished scripts. I also have like, ideas for board games, ideas for all types of different stuff on my computer. Um, and yeah, like you said, I think when you're young, it's hard to stay focused on stuff like that. At least that's. I mean, we're definitely not alone because I get emails from people all the time asking me like, oh, how did you get your comic book out there? And I always tell them the same thing: just like sit down and start working on it.
Yeah, you just have to do it. It's not going to make itself.
Um,
I've tried. It doesn't work.
yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, we've talked before. I mean, I don't know the exact statistics, but I mean, the percentage of people who want to write a book or make a movie or do some type of creative endeavor like that, and the number of people who actually finish it, um, It's not a very big percentage. So I always say, if you finish your book or you finish your comic book, even if it's the worst thing in the world, you should still be proud of yourself.
Yeah, you did it. You saw it through to the end. Like that's actually why I drifted away from comics, like because I wanted to finish something. I needed to like finish a project. So like when I think it was like 2012 or 2013 or whatever, like the I had made so many failed attempts at like making a comic book, and I was like, all right, well, I gotta do something. I have a sketchbook full of stuff, and it will never see the light of day. So I just started like painting,
Right.
like digital painting at first, and traditional painting when I realized that traditional painting was more fun.
Yeah. So I should mention that we have a painting that Angie commissioned. Um, I think it's in our bathroom actually. From you. I know we have a couple prints, but we have the Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that was the one that she commissioned, right?
Yeah,
And then we have a print. We have a. I think the Nightmare Before Christmas is in our dining room, and the the print that we have by you is in our bathroom. But yeah, we've known you for a while, and uh, I mean, you guys don't live that far away from us, so we do visit you probably at least twice, maybe three times a year.
yeah. Like you're usually up and down. Like it's more complicated now with the babies, but yeah, we're usually up in Pittsburgh or you guys are down by us, so we connect.
I know that Angie is very, very, very eager to meet the babies.
We're really eager to like introduce them to you. It's been a crazy year, man.
So how is that going? I mean, are they sleeping through the night mostly, or are they?
I mean, mostly they get up once they get up once a night to eat. So like we put them down at like 7, and then somebody will get up at like 1 or 2, and then somebody else will get up at like 3 or 4, and they'll eat for like half an hour, then go back to sleep.
So I just realized I haven't asked like what you're. I know you're working on a page from Memoirs of the Morbid, but do you want to explain what's going on in this page, or maybe show what's going on?
I will do my best. My blur feature makes it hard. This is the biggest panel. Oh, one of the little gimmicks is I guess the first one, the gimmick was I wrote a very, very long one. That was the longest one in the book. And this one I'm hoping is the shortest one in the book, but
It will be.
also is has yeah, the blur is not my friend.
We're seeing glimpses of it. It's mysterious.
Yes, it's mysterious. Yeah, it's not my friend. But there are 2 double spread pages. Like there are 2. So this is the biggest panel. It is a page and a half, and it is the main character face to face with the alien.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So like
Yes.
the alien was there's a weird story with both of these characters of like their design and like how they sort of formulated the the lady started out as in my FYP for whatever reason. It thought I wanted to see this disabled model from Italy.
Oh,
So I guess it's the lady who was born with no. I don't know about the leg thing, but like I don't know if she had two legs or not, but she had no arms, just born without them, or like she had like a shoulder on one side and then like a shoulder on the other side, and then like a little like arm like coming out of like her side there, and she just like she contorted her body in like really interesting ways. It was bizarre. And then I started like, then I was just like, yeah, but what if we were to like make a, what if someone was born like that and they like made like the cybernetic arms and stuff and we attached everything.
I see. Okay.
So it was just a sketch. It wasn't attached to anything. It was just like a sketch in a sketchbook. And then Memoirs came out, and I was like, oh, maybe, yeah. So like, you're talking about like doing other memoirs, and I started thinking about like what this character could do and like where she would go, whatever, and I just I thought it would be kind of fun to like use her in a very like visceral, like charged sort of way. So I started like drawing her more and more and more. And at the time, I was also sharing. I would do posters for Dr. Sketchies. It's
Okay.
it's like burlesque, it's like burlesque life drawing.
Right.
So I had done all these posters for Dr. Sketchies just because I like doing them, and I kind of called it quits when the twins were born.
Right.
So I was just sort of sharing. I think I did like 20 of them. And the one model, like when I shared it, she's just like, "Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it when you draw me. Like this is so cool. Like this is still like one of my favorite pieces." And I'm like looking at the character, and through like coincidence, she just sort of looked like her.
Cool.
So I reached out to her and asked, like, "Hey, can I use your your likeness or whatever on this character for the story?" And I told her what the story was and what's going to happen and everything. And she was like, "Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, totally do it." So then, like, I really leaned into making her look like this actual living, breathing person who lives here in Ohio and does burlesque.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, well, I don't know. I don't know how you would feel about like using her to like help promote the comic book, but man,
I wasn't gonna ask.
yeah, I hear you that. I mean, I know that there are people who do like the photographic covers. I'm not crazy about those. Um,
I don't like them. Yeah, that's not really my thing.
yeah, that I mean that's cool. That was nice of you to ask permission to to use her likeness. Um, I don't know. I don't know if she could have been mad about it if you hadn't, or even really known about it. But it was probably a good idea.
I wouldn't have leaned into using like I said, I didn't design the character with her in mind. It just coincidence. So I just leaned into that. If she said no, then I wouldn't have leaned into it. She would have had a different face.
Exactly.
And then the alien, like I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of like, Alien is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of Geiger. I didn't really want to like regurgitate Geiger. So the original idea for this alien was there's an episode of Next Generation where all the crew are like de-evolving. It's a really dumb episode, but they have really cool makeup, and one of the characters de-evolves into a spider for some reason. I don't know why. He's not a spider person. He's just a person, just like a regular human. But he's in this really cool like spider makeup, and he has like a bunch of like eyes and stuff like on one part of his head. So the original design for this alien, he had like spider eyes and antenna and like all this like other stuff. And then I started modeling the alien after that movie Species?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started modeling the alien after that. So like kind of using that kind of like guide, that guides your influence, but not a xenomorph.
You said, wait, so this was an episode of the Next Generation?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, I forget.
I've seen the Next Generation, but I don't have like a super great knowledge of it. Like I don't love it like I do the original series.
Yeah, I think we're opposites there. Like I think I've gone through the original series once, and I've watched the Next Generation like 5 times. But that's what I grew up with was TNG.
Exactly.
So like it was this kind of like this weird lady spider thing, and like I don't know, it wasn't working for me. So I started like fumbling around with like other things, and then I saw there's an artist who goes by and is also the name of his comic book Cancor. You ever heard of that?
I have not.
Cancorr. The art is incredible. The story is, I don't know if the story is incredibly dumb or if I'm not smart enough to understand it. But the art is incredible. But he has some drawings of Swamp Thing. And like, how Swamp Thing has like, how those like tendrils that like come off of his nose and his like mouth is kind of like recessed in.
Now, is that Swamp Thing or is that Man Thing?
That Man Thing was the Marvel with the 3 things. No, this is Swamp Thing. This is DC.
Okay.
But like I saw that and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then like since the babies were born, I've been on a big long Star Wars journey, trying to like rewatch all the Star Wars in chronological order.
Are you watching the new stuff too?
Yeah, it all fits.
So I've kind of fallen out with Star Wars. What would you recommend?
Well, I started with the prequels. I wouldn't recommend those. Those don't get any better. There's a lot of this is a very needlessly complicated movie with
I keep thinking to myself I should rewatch those because like they can't be as bad as I remember. And then every time like I walk into the room and like one of Angie's kids is watching them, I'm like, this might actually be worse than I remember.
You know what's crazy is that like I remember after like they were done going, yeah, episode 3 was probably like the best out of the 3. And now I honestly think episode 1 is the best out of the 3. Not that like it's not like a ringing endorsement for episode 1. Like it's not a ringing endorsement for episode 1, but like in episode 1, everybody has something to do. Even even Jar Jar being an annoying doofus has something to do. There's like it's a very Star Trek plot. They have to go negotiate about trade. So
Yeah,
Cool.
that's my big thing. Like, they're not even bad, like, in a fun way. They're bad, like, in a boring way.
Yeah, they're bad for political reasons. But like Padme has something to do. Padme spends the next 2 movies full of ennui. Look, like especially in the third one, she spends the entire movie looking out windows, going, "Anakin, why?"
Yeah.
So at least like they all have something to do. They all like show their strengths and their weaknesses. There's like there's an interesting villain in Darth Maul. Like he's scary, he's cool looking. Like this is not, again, not a ringing endorsement for like the cinematic masterpiece that is the Phantom Menace, but but like episode 2 is needlessly complicated, and the acting is so stilted for no good reason. And like the movie progresses in a way that I don't understand. Anakin goes up to Padme and goes, "I killed them all, the women and the children," and she goes, "Oh, swoon." This is definitely not a red flag at all.
So if it makes you feel any better, Marvin remembers that episode of Star Trek. And apparently Donna
Yes.
Troy had gills.
Yes. Deanna Troy did have gills. She turns into a frog person.
Okay, so the prequels are not good.
The prequels are not good, but I've been watching them in chronological order. So like between episode 2 and episode 3 is the Clone Wars TV show.
Okay.
Like the cartoon. And the cartoon ranges from terrible to really fantastic, but it's done in a particularly stupid way. For whatever reason, it's not like the show. If you want to watch it in any kind of chronological order, you have to go from it's like episodes 1 through 3, then the movie premiere or whatever, then like episodes 3 through 15, but not episode 7. You can't watch episode 7 until sometime in season 2 for it to make sense.
I never got into that. I know there are people who say it's good.
It is good. It does like shake out to be good. There's like I still have like complaints about it because who doesn't, but it's mostly stuff like I wish they introduced Ahsoka Tano, and at no point do they ever show like Ahsoka Tano and Anakin like training or talking to each other in a situation that isn't a battle. And like there's stuff like that. Like I wish there were more like quieter moments where you can get characters talking. But ultimately that show does shake out really, really it shakes out really good. Like it was 7 seasons, and like it's really good. 7 freaking seasons.
See, that makes me not want to start it though.
But they're all half-hour episodes, so I mean, some of those episodes are a slog to get through. There are definitely episodes that focus on Jar Jar Binks. He has to go do something.
Oh boy!
And it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this for 22 minutes. And then it goes, just kidding, it's a 4-parter.
Oh no!
And you're just like, oh, come on.
Okay, so you recommend the Clone Wars TV show.
But so after that, there's a show called The Bad Batch that came out really recently, which is phenomenal. It's really, really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good, and the animation's really nice, and the stories are really good. It has like a really good blend of monster of the week and overarching plot. They do a really great job of sort of showing this in between of Old Republic and Empire. So like you see TIE fighters, but they're not quite TIE fighters. There's
Oh,
this there's this whole like there's this whole plot about like what's going to happen to the clones, because the clones, like the people, like the stormtroopers, are not clones; they're conscripted soldiers. So like, what happens to the clones? There's the whole like story arc uh of like Tarkin being like, we're not doing clones anymore,
right.
and then there's some stuff that makes there's stuff that like I think is supposed to make Rise of Skywalker make a little more sense.
Oh, okay.
So I'm glad there's that. That sure is a movie that
Okay, so
exists.
so you would recommend the Bad Batch too?
Yeah, that was really good. So now I'm on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I remember that being the most okay as Star Wars, and upon rewatch, I think it's a little better.
A little better, okay. So you still haven't even made it up to like the original series yet?
No, no, I have like another. I had to watch Rebels. That's like 5 seasons of show, I think, 3 or
Oh
five
my
seasons
god.
of show, and then after that, then there's Andor. There's 2 seasons of show.
I've heard Andor's actually really good.
Honestly, the only reason I started this is so I could watch Andor, and so I could like rewatch The Mandalorian and get all the little like nuggets that they throw in the background. Like there's like stuff in The Mandalorian, like where they go to Mandalore, right? And like they go to that like big room with like where Bo-Katan's hanging out.
Yeah.
That room is in the Clone Wars show. Like there's all these plots about the Mandalorians in the Clone Wars.
Wow. Okay.
So about what Mandalore stood for and who ruled it, and like it, and it's a like Bo-Katan's sister is the ruler of Mandalore, and until she isn't. Even the even like Din Djarin, he's from this cult called the Children of the Watch, which I didn't know what that meant when I watched the show. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, Children of the Watch. But there's a in the Clone Wars show, there's a whole cult called the Death Watch that are supposed to be like, true Mandalorians trying to take back Mandalore. Where do we see that? Where do we see that in our daily lives?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know that I have time to sit down and watch all of this,
No,
or maybe not so much time, so much as patience.
it's a lot. I mean, you get a lot of patience when you're holding a baby and you have nothing better to do, or in my case, holding 2 babies.
So maybe we'll have to check back in with you in a couple months to see how this experiment is going.
I mean, so far so good. There's ups and downs, like like with anything. I don't understand the people that have perpetual hatred for anything Star Wars that wasn't made in 1977 or 1981.
No, I don't have perpetual hate for it. I have perpetual, wow, this seems daunting for me.
Oh no, I totally get that. There's a reason why I wasn't even going to watch the cartoons, because
If I were going to do this,
there's so much of them.
if I were going to do this experiment, I would probably skip the prequels just because um, I really, really hate them. Um, sorry if that offends people out there, but it feels like there are more people nowadays saying like, "Oh, the prequels aren't terrible," which I personally think people who say that are wrong. But
Uh, while I agree with you, um, I also know people who grew up with them, and
yeah,
if that's their Star Wars, like that's their Star Wars. It's the same thing with like with me in Next Generation. I will never love the original series the way that you do. I find most of it kind of boring. Like the way that they did television in the '60s is hard to get through.
Oh, really? I like the characters from the original series better than the Next Generation. That's just me.
But like what I found surprising is that the characters in the next generation, the characters in the original series, don't go anywhere or do anything. And and like
It's supposed
think about like the characters, like think about Sulu. Okay.
right.
Sulu, everything you know and love about Sulu comes from the movies.
Yeah, that's weird too. You're right. Yeah, the original TV show is mostly Kirk, Spock, and McCoy doing everything, right?
Yeah. Like occasionally you get some like Uhura, like where we started rewatching the original series a few weeks ago. And like they oh man, they do some weird stuff. Guys, like there's some scene where like Spock is just like he's playing his lute in the mess hall, and this Uhura just starts singing about Spock to Spock's face, and it's really bizarre.
That's kind of what I mean, there's a lot of stuff to love and a lot of stuff to think is ridiculous, and
it's
yeah,
it's not that I don't like appreciate it. It's not that I don't love it. It's not that I don't enjoy it. Like it's just very bizarre. You know, like I can think of very little Star Trek that I truly despise, and it's called Section 31.
I haven't seen that. I know that
don't
people were not
don't
happy with it.
don't waste your time. It is so very bad. it,
All right, Dave.
it
So I try to keep these under an hour. If you wanted to, if people want to find you, where would they find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Uncouth Barbarian. That is usually where I post all the stuff. I also have a Facebook with the same handle at Uncouth Barbarian. And in theory, I have a Threads, though I think everything that's on Threads just gets bounced from Instagram.
I think a lot of people do that. All right, Dave. Well, thank you for being on the show. Like I said, I am curious to hear how this experiment with all the Star Wars crap goes.
I'll let you know.
Like I said, we're going to see each other in a couple months. You probably won't be done with this experiment by then, but maybe you'll be further along.
I'm hoping to be at Andor by then. I'm very excited to watch Andor. I hear it's very, very good.
I've heard that as well. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dave.
All right. Thank you.
Let me know when you're going to be in town this weekend. All right.
All right. Let's see you then.
See you then. And thank you, everybody who watched the show. Have a great week. See you next week.